this has nothing to do with the video, but I did kind of want to show this off. Look at how cool this is, man. Come on, son. This is actually dope, man. I love it. So everybody and their mom was already on the way, making ideas and theories, dissecting and analyzing these trailers. And I admit, me too. That's why I'm here after all. And they saying Marvel and Kingdom Hearts, Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts, you know, maybe that was an ATST in the shot. Maybe that grassy place was indoor at the very beginning. But I'm on a different train here first. I may talk about that Star Wars thing in another video. Maybe. I'm here because I found even more signs that the world ends with you is absolutely confirmed, and that confirmed is in big air quotes because hey, we don't exactly know yet, but the signs are way too hard to ignore here. And don't worry, I'm not going to be spoiling anything story related for the world ends with you, which you should play those games, by the way. Those two games, fantastic, some of the best JRPGs you'll ever play. But anyway, we know why we're here. So as we see at the start of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, you see this kind of stairway station kind of section, and then it gets to Sora and his penthouse suite, basically waking up, opening the door for Strelitzia, and then look out at the view of the world around them. And when you see that view of the world around you, and when she starts talking, that's when the hints start dropping huge big time that add to and complement what we already suspected in compliance with the world ends with you potentially having its own big section in Kingdom Hearts. So the first thing that tipped me off was Strelitzia's comment about Sora being asleep. She says that Sora arrived in that world 7 days ago and was asleep that entire time. For those that played the world ends with you, how long is each session of the Reapers game? 7 days at a time. So that means Sora is definitely ready and available to hop into the next session. The Sora and Strelitzia, according to Strelitzia at least, are still in Quadratum. She says it's a world full of life, but to those two specifically, it's like an afterworld, which you can pretty much assume to just be the afterlife. And in the world ends with you game, they have different planes of existence in their world where certain beings can and can't live in. You have the RG, aka the real ground, which is just pretty much the real world where normal people live in that are living. And then you have the UG, which is the exact same as the real ground in every single way, shape, and form, except it's for the people that die, so they have a chance to return to life through playing the Reapers game, or go on to being a Reaper themselves if they win the game, or depending on if they show enough metal, becoming an even higher being. But residents of the RG cannot interact with residents of the UG, except for some that may have a sixth sense to the UG's happenings. But still, actions in the UG can still affect the RG's condition. So what if, like we've theorized before, Quadratum is literally just the UG to the residents of the world ends with you, but to those like Strelitzia, it's just Quadratum. They're just one and the same. Because going both ways, it's a place that's both full of life and contains an afterworld where they can still be among that world, but those specific people are differentiated. By the way, have you subscribed yet? I don't think you have. And if you have already, thank you. But if you haven't, go ahead and do it. I'll give you a second. We in the thick of it right now. So I just thought I'd remind you. Thank you. And don't forget, don't think I forgot, the 10-4 building we see at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 Secret Movie. The 10-4 building is just the World Ends with You's version of the 10-9 building or the 109 building IRL in Shibuya. And as far as I know, it's the only continuity that uses 10-4. One more huge hint that Quadratum and the Shibuya of the World Ends with You is still one continuity, and that is the Shibuya stream. When Sora's looking out upon the city, we actually see the Shibuya stream building right there. Look at the design from the trailer and look at the Shibuya stream IRL. Those are the same building. They're the exact same building, and we know how important the Shibuya stream is to the world ends with you. And moving on to about what we see next, that monster we saw. Picture this. Was that monster a noise, or was it just another being of darkness? So those that don't know, the noise are the monsters that you fight in the world ends with you game, and they have their own separate plane of existence. It's just called the noise plane. But the Reapers drag them out of the noise plane into the UG to pit them against the players. And they come in so many different shapes and sizes and forms and creations, levels of power, and just are a threat unlike any other really. But back to this absolute unit we see. It has no emblem, Heartless, Nobody, Dream Eater, and it could just be a pure blood Heartless, could be. But its bodily design is way more jagged and staticky, and really just unlike most creatures we've seen in Kingdom Hearts. It really favors a noise way more. But most of all, look at how it spawns in. You can really see the staticky nature there. But it could also just be the new design for the denizens of the dark. But I'm pretty sure, I am confident based on its design, where we're in, all the hints alluded to it, that's actually a noise. Gotta be. Next question. Think about this. Is the Master of Masters the game master of this session? Now, for those that don't know, in the Reaper's game, there's a sort of hierarchy from bottom to top for each region for the Reaper's games. It goes players, then the Reapers, then the game master, then the conductor, then the composer. Now, there's some beyond that that govern all of the regions, but I'll let y'all find that on your own when you play those games on your own time. Anyway, like I said before, each session of the Reaper's game just lasts 1 week at a time, and each session has a game master who's just a Reaper that runs that session and gets to choose how it goes that week, whether it be combating noise in a rush or gauntlet fashion, investigating puzzles throughout the landscape, fighting against the other Reapers to see if the Reapers are actually still worthy of their position, and so on and so forth. And towards the end, we see two beings in the wrinkly old coats here that ain't seen an iron in about 20 years watching Sora fight this potential noise. And we already know the Master of Masters is here from the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret movie, of course. He's here with Sora, so he could be the game master. One thing to note is that the game masters don't necessarily have to change each week. Depending on how the week ends, they could also continue on to the next week, especially if they impress their power upon the other Reapers, so they could maintain their position. And of course, you cannot forget what we learned from the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind fight of Yozora. He said when he got there, he had to go through some trials. That sounds awfully Reaper's game to me. And now with all these new potential things, I'm even more convinced about that. So yes, from Shalicia's mentioning of the 7-day time period, the being that looks like a noise, from seeing the Shibuya stream out upon the city, from the 10-4 building for the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret movie, from what Quadratum is being full of life, as well as in being an afterworld to Sora and Shalicia, who we know are both dead, to the similarities between that statement and how the RG and UG work in The World Ends With You. I don't even know if I'm still counting accurately, but you guys get my point. What do you guys think? Do you think The World Ends With You is all but officially confirmed? Let me know in the comments. I'm trying to hear it, because believe me, I would love to see my boys Neku, Beat, Rendo, Shiki, Shoka, Nagi, Karya, and Uzuki, all of them in beautiful Kingdom Hearts 4 visuals. I need to see that. And of course, we already know The World Ends With You has been in Kingdom Hearts before, so it's nothing new. They can do it. But hashtag goated crossover on your comment if you stayed this long and are down for this wave. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you check the link in my description for all the links to my social media, like Twitter and Twitch especially, in the description below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next video.